Everyone, in the previous video we learned about the fixed bias configuration. In this video we are going to learn about the self-biased configuration of the JFET. Self-biased configuration. So first of all, let me draw the self-biased configuration of the JFET. We have the voltage VDD source over here and we have the resistance RD. And then we have the JFET over here, and again this time with the JFET we have a source, we have a resistance which is called RS, and finally we have a ground. This is my drain terminal and we have a coupling capacitor connected here, and this is going to be my V out. This is my resistor RD and this is my DC source VDD. And this is my resistor RS as it is connected to the source terminal. And then again, because it's an N channel JFET, so the direction of arrow will be towards here, and this is going to be my gate terminal, and from the gate terminal I am going to have a resistance RG. This is going to be my resistance RG, and then again I am going to have another capacitor and followed by the input voltage Vi. So this coupling capacitor is C1 and this coupling capacitor is C2. So this is my configuration. This is my self-bias configuration. If you can have a look, there are two differences between fixed bias and self-bias configuration. One difference is that there is only one DC source. In self-bias we have only one DC source, that is VDD. There is only one DC source which is called VDD. There is no DC source VGG. So that's why we can say that the self-bias configuration is better as it eliminates the need for two DC sources. The second difference is this resistance RS. If you remember, in case of fixed bias configuration there was no resistance RS. So the second difference is the resistance RS. So these are my two differences between the fixed bias and self bias configuration. Again, I have two capacitors C1 and C2, and for DC analysis these capacitors will be open circuited. So let me just erase these capacitors over from here. So I am going to erase this C1, I am going to erase this branch, and I am also going to erase this branch over here. And because I have the resistance, the current flowing through the gate is because almost equal to 0 in FAT. In case of FAT, the gate current is almost equal to 0 ampere. That is why the resistance over here, the current flowing through this resistance, that will also be 0 ampere. As a result, this can be made short circuit. So I can also make this short circuit. So let me make this a short circuit over here. I'm going to remove this. Let me remove this as well. And let me make a short circuit over here. So I can simply make a short circuit over here. And again, because these two are at the same potential, that is 0 watt, so I can connect these two together. So let me also connect these two together so that it's more clearer. I'm going to again take my eraser and I'm going to connect these two together. And they are connected to common ground. So now we have the simplified self-bias configuration circuit over here, and this is my drain terminal. So now we can now simplify this circuit. First of all, because the drain current Ig is equal to 0 ampere, almost 0 ampere in case of the FAT, so So the drain current ID is approximately equal to the source current IS, and we know this from the properties of the JFET and FAT, that ID is equal to IS as Ig is equal to approximately 0 ampere. So now let me apply KVL to this branch. When I apply KVL to this branch, again we have this source, which is, this is my VGS. So the VGS is also a voltage drop, and the current, and because we have the resistance RS, and there is always a voltage drop across a resistor as well, so both are voltage drops, so both will be of the same sign. ISRS is equal to 0. Now because IS is equal to ID is equal to IS, so I can replace this IS by ID, or I can write plus IDRS is equal to 0 ampere, or I can write VGS is equal to minus IDRS. So now this is my very important equation in case of self-bias configuration. As you can have a look, we are not applying any DC source, we are not applying any fixed DC source as an input. That is why it is not called fixed bias configuration, and we haven't applied any source and still this has been biased. That is why it is called the self bias configuration. Now, so this is my very important equation. Now I know that to find the Q point, I have 2 points. One is on y axis, which is the drain current point, and one is on x axis, which is the VGSQ point. Now to find the drain current point, what I am going to do is that I am going to use the Shockley equation, and that Shockley equation is given as ID is equal to IDSS 1 minus VGS divided by VP whole square. And again here in this case we have VGS is equal to minus IDRS. So I'm going to replace this in this equation. So let me write it as ID is equal to IDSS 1 plus IDRS divided by VP whole square. Now I need to simplify this equation. So we have ID is equal to IDSS VP plus IDRS divided by VP whole square. Again I need to further simplify this. Let me take the VP out from this equation. So we have ID is equal to IDSS divided by VP whole square, and this is VP plus IDRS whole square. Now this is actually my a plus b whole square. So let me apply the formula a plus b whole square to this equation, and we are going to have ID is equal to IDSS divided by VP whole square. Now we have a square plus b square plus 2ab. So now we have this equation here, and now I can multiply this with this thing. So let me multiply it. We will get ID is equal to, and VP whole square and VP whole square is going to cancel out in the first case. So we have IDSS plus, and then we have IDSS divided by VP whole square RS whole square into ID square. And again for the third part, 1 VP is going to get cancelled out with this square, so we are going to have 2 IDSS RS divided by VP into ID. So again I am going to shift the ID to this side. I am going to have 0 is equal to IDSS plus IDSS divided by VP whole square into RS whole square into the ID square plus 2 IDSS RS VP minus 1 into ID. Now what I am going to do is that I am going to divide all this equation by this term, so that ID whole square is a single term. So when I do it, I am going to have id square 0 is equal to, this whole is going to be divided by this as well and by this as well, and then when I divide it, I am going to call this some constant k1, and then I am going to call this some constant k2. So when I simplify this, I am going to have id whole square, and then it will be some constant because idss is also constant, the resistance rs is also constant, vp is also constant, so that will also be some constant. So I am going to have k1 id, this is my id, and this will all be a constant k1 id, and again this k2 will also be some constant. So I am going to get this quadratic equation, and from this quadratic equation I am going to find the current id. So this is the mathematical approach to find the current id. If you can have a look, this was a very complex or complicated approach to find the current id. You see in the previous video that the mathematical approach of finding ID was very difficult. The mathematical approach was very difficult. So that's why we are going to use the graphical approach. And again, because the current ID in case of JFET is given by the Shockley equation, which is given as this thing. So for graphical approach, again, first thing we need to do is to plot the transfer characteristic curve. So first thing is to plot the transfer characteristic curve, and the second most important equation was that the VGS was equal to minus IDRS. Now this is the equation of the straight line. We need to superimpose the equation of this straight line on this transfer characteristic curve, and then we will get a common point, and that common point is going to be our operating point. So to plot this equation, again, for the case for VGS is equal to 0, I am going to have ID is equal to 0. So one of my points is 0 0. So this is my point number 1. And for the second point, I am going to select ID is equal to IDSS divided by 2. And when ID is equal to IDSS divided by 2, VGS is going to be minus IDSS divided by 2 into RS. So these two is going to be my second point. So my second point is going to be minus IDSS RS divided by 2 and IDSS divided by 2. So I am going to simply join these P1 and P2, and I am going to simply draw a straight line, and that straight line is going to be superimposed on this transfer characteristic curve. As you can have a look over here, this is my transfer characteristic curve. Let me remove the annotation. This is my transfer characteristic curve. This is my transfer characteristic curve, and this is my straight line that has been superimposed. If we can have a look, this straight line has been done by these 2 points. This is the point where the VGS is equal to 0 and ID is equal to 0. This is the point where ID is equal to IDSS divided by 2 and VGS is equal to minus IDSS divided by 2 into RS. So this straight line has been drawn, and this common point is called the Q point or operating point or the quotient point. So this is my graphical approach, and you can see that the graphical approach is very easy as compared to the mathematical approach. Now once ID current is known, we can find the level of VDS by using the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Again, because VDD is my rise, is a voltage rise, so this needs to be negative. Again, the IDRD is a drop. Similarly, the voltage DS, this is my VDS, this is also a drop, and then this VRS is also a drop, and the sum of the voltages according to KVL is equal to 0. So we are going to simplify this. This is going to be IDRD plus VDS, and the VRS is equal to, this VRS is equal to ISRS. So I can replace this by ISRS, and this is again going to be equal to 0. Again, minus VDD plus IDRD plus VDS, and we also know that in this case ID is equal to IS. So I can replace this by ID. So this can be IDRS, and this is again going to be equal to the 0. From here we are going to find the VDS. So VDS let me uh, keep it on the left side, and this is going to be VDD minus ID RD minus ID RS. ID, I can take the ID common from here, and this is going to be VDD minus ID RD plus RS. So this is the equation of the VDS. So this is how we can find the VDS. And if I want to find the VD, so how can I find the VD? We know that VDS is equal to VD minus VS. And to find VD, it means that VD is equal to VDD plus VS. VDS plus VS. So this is going to be my VD. So I have already my VDS over here. I need to add VS. So this is going to be VDD minus IDRD minus IDRS plus VS, and we know that VS is equal to ISRS or IDRS. So I'm going to again write IDRS over here. So this two is going to be cancelled. So VD comes out to be VDD minus IDRD. So this is my VD. And similarly, I have also stated previously that Vs is equal to IDRS. And because we do not have any source at gate, so Vg is equal to 0 volt. So these are the some of the governing output equations, and we have found it using the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Thank you.